to perspectives. Now, one quick thing I do just want to say is that what happened is the original perspectives tutorial that was meant to come out for some reason didn't upload on YouTube. So I'm just doing a remake quickly just to cover everything I did in that video. But yeah, we're going to cover basic perspective today, and then most likely the next tutorial coming on will be about mid-ground, foreground and background, because that kind of plays on perspective a bit. We're just going to do the very, very basic stuff. So obviously there is 1 point, 2 points and 3 points. Now the thing is, 1 point is its own thing, 2 points is its own thing, but 3 point is a kind of mix up of these two. Anyway, let's jump straight into it. Now, in my opinion, the easiest way to think about these points is literally just lines. So with the first point, it kind of comes out as triangles. So you've got a triangle on the bottom and then a triangle on the top. And what you might be able to see is that it's like a big X. Now, what 1 point perspective does is as something gets closer to this point, it gets drawn into it and it gets smaller. So what we're going to do here is just draw a little road. As you can see, with perspective, it gets smaller and the front bit of it actually gets smaller as it goes inwards. This is how things work in 1 point perspective. We are now going to draw a 3D shape, just to show you guys. So the front bit would be smaller. This would come up, and so this would come down. These need to join up here. And then this bit would actually just be flat, like this. This bit would go out and actually be flat as well. And then that line would come up, this line would come down. That is a 3D object in a 1 point perspective. Sorry. Yeah, that's essentially what it is. 1 point perspective draws things into the point. So just make sure that when you're drawing things in 1 point perspective, when they get closer to it, they're getting smaller and shorter, and they apply to like the drag effect, I guess. Number 2, also very simple. Now this is where it's really good for things like architecture, because essentially what 2 point perspective is creating a 3D aspect. So the 2 points are on either side, and it's actually kind of like 1 point, because it's 2 points dragging to either side. Now this is really good for drawing cubes and, like I said, architecture, houses from certain angles. This can be drawn sideways as well. So if I just flip the camera quickly, obviously it can be drawn that way up as well. It doesn't have to be drawn this way up. But yeah, it's really good for like drawing cubes and things. It doesn't have to be a cube, it can be any shape really. So this could be a cone, or it could even be some sort of architectural shape. So, and you can kind of see how this builds a 2 point perspective. It's essentially dragging from 2 points either side. That's what 2 point perspective is. And a third, the 3 point perspective. Now, how this is an addition of this one and this one is, as you can see, we've got the 2 points at the top and the 1 point at the bottom. Now, how this is going to work is essentially a triangle, but everything gets dragged into 1 point at the bottom, and this can either be downwards perspective, upwards perspective. Like I said, you can draw it like that, you can draw it upside down, you can draw it from any angle you want, but as long as the perspective applies. Now, the most common drawing, the one we are actually going to do, is drawing a city from like a top-down view. So once again, we're just going to apply a 2 point perspective up here, and we're actually going to make it a bit complicated, but Yeah, see that? And now, instead of drawing this straight down, what we're actually going to do is bring it inwards a bit and make it face towards the bottom point. You can then bring these bits in to face towards the bottom point, and then sort of just continue that downwards. And as you can see, this is essentially like a big triangle going downwards with one line going down the center. And yeah, like I said, that's all perspective is. It is literally just lines and then drawing along those lines at different points. So again, here, you've got one line that goes across the middle, and then you've got your line here, your line here, and then you've got your lines here and here, and there. It's all just lines. That's all perspective is, in my opinion. Obviously, this one can come out in as many different ways as you want. I would advise sticking to mainly 4 lines on this one, 3 on that one, and then maybe like 2 or 4 on this one. But yeah, that's essentially perspective in the basics. I hope you have enjoyed. I'm sorry for the camera shake. I couldn't get that to work today. That's what I usually use to hold the camera. But yeah, I hope you have enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. You can maybe comment on what you might want to see next in the pop culture sort of styles. Obviously, character design will be coming back quite soon after I've done the tutorials. I'm going to take a break from character design for a bit and get more into tutorials because I haven't done them for a while. But it's going to be a lot of fun, yeah. And maybe even I can add a bit of pop culture into the tutorials, or a bit of character design into the tutorials. Because for mid-ground, foreground, background, I'm going to need to draw people, so I could draw a character in that sense. Maybe even Kalat or Kleat. Yeah, it'll be fun. Sorry for dragging this out, but yeah, see you later guys, goodbye.